Good morning everyone, and welcome to this second day of our panel of the 4 University Futures Workshop. And this panel is dedicated to the presentation and the discussion of research and projects ongoing and currently underway by the 4 universities with the references of the different enterprises. But before starting, I'd like to invite our Magnifica Rettrice and Giovanna Iannantuoni and for greetings of the party. Thank you very much, Professor Giovanna Iannantuoni.
Thank you, Matteo, and I'm very happy to be here. You know, this is my 4th day in the Italian pavilion, so I'm, the senior person here because I know every corner. But it was really great experience. Tomorrow I will come back to Milan and I will tell about, first of all, how beautiful is Osaka, how friendly are our Japanese colleagues, and how these days represent a tremendous opportunity to start over a program, a project of common innovation. We have common goals, we said in these days many times. We want to innovate our societies. We want to make universities to be really the engine of the growth for both our countries that share common problems, from elderly society to a technology gap that we know very well and commented already very well. So really, I'm very happy because today we'll go more deeply in sustainability, healthcare, and urban regeneration. So really talk about the things that we can do. So, this project is called MUSA because MUSA, for who has not classical studies, where, this goddess in the ancient Greece that really aimed to leave footprints on poetry, on dancing, and what we have to do on engineering, at the time mathematics. So what we want to do with this project is to launch ideas for the future design of the cities. And so to leave clear footprints of our passage. So I'm very, curious to hear what you will tell us today. And more importantly, I'm sure that from today on, we'll work more and more together to improve the welfare and the condition of our 2 countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rector Giovanna Iannantuoni. And I'd like to invite now Stefano Riccardi, and who is the director, the Holy Seed at this pavilion. Thank you very much, Director.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of the General Commissioner of the Vatican Pavilion, I want to congratulate with you about this project, this amazing project. You talk to the future, you talk about future, and the healthcare of the people is, of course, the base of the future. We are in Expo, and till the beginning, Expo is talk about future. So I want to express my congratulations to you because this project is a really good example of what Expo means. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Stefano Riccardi. And I remind you, we are not just in presence with here, but also in streaming. So I'd like to welcome also people in streaming. Thank you very much again. So, okay, I remind you, okay, this half day is structured in this way. So we have 4 panels. And for each panel, we have an introduction with a video and aimed at presenting the main findings of research and the project of the different universities. And then 2 presentations and by 2 lecturers of each university. and followed by a presentation by a Japanese colleague, and to finish 2 or more presentations and by representatives of different companies and which are working with our university in Milan and in order to carry out the different projects. Okay, so we start with the first panel, and on the topic of urban regeneration and sustainability, and which is a panel organized by the University of Milano Bicocca. So I invite Professor Maurizio Ciarri, the first chair, the Professor Emily Palm, the Professor Tommaso Gabe, the Doctors Edoardo Della Role, the Dr. Koji Tagaji, and the Dr. Lorenzo Leva. Please sit down. Thank you again. Okay, so I kindly ask the control room and to start the video. Thanks.
The University of Milano Bicocca is a young and dynamic institution, founded in 1998. It has grown rapidly, closely tied to the redevelopment of the urban area where it was established. The university is the proposing and coordinating institution of the MUSA project, to which it contributes in a multidisciplinary and multi-level manner with projects focused on urban regeneration based on natural resources, biodiversity, renewable energy, and sustainable mobility on one hand, and technologies, economic and social analysis, and education aimed at addressing inequalities.
MUSA is the innovation hub of 4 universities of Milan and many private companies that work on urban regeneration research action. This is why in Osaka, that is a sister city of Milan, we think that is the right place to introduce and to present what our researchers are working on, the health system, the area and the neighborhood of the campuses of the universities. Together we can change the way in which cities are built and lived by citizens.
For the researchers here at the University of Milano Bicocca, regeneration includes the study of biodiversity, environmental factors such as heat, islands, and air and water quality and innovative energies, but also areas of mobility and innovative and smart societies. Regeneration means listening to the environment, designing for the people that live there, and also measuring the impacts.
Environmental data, energy solutions, and new models of mobility converge in a shared vision. Bicocca is a living urban lab, growing with those who inhabit it.
Here in Piazza della Scienza, we have created a rehabilitation project where we have dramatically increased the biodiversity of the square. Before, we had an area that was almost completely paved with very few plants. Now we have transformed it into a living laboratory. The idea of measuring the role that biodiversity might have in improving different environmental conditions within the square, not only for the students that are using the space, but for the people that live in this area. For example, with one of the trees here, we've measured the photosynthetic rate, and we have observed that in the month of October alone, it was able to sequester 27.5 kilograms of CO2 within that 1 month. Monitoring of the air quality through sensors that have been installed on the various trees to measure and to understand which combinations of plants are most adapted to actually reducing the quantity of particulates in the air and increase the quality of air for the people that live in this area.
Here to the University of Milano Bicocca, thanks also to the MUSA project, we start a change in our building, and we try to reduce our impact on from the point of view of energy consumption. And so we are increasing also the behavior of our student, professor, in order to reduce the use of energy. And these, for example, we will introduce LED for lighting, or we will use also photovoltaics in order to produce by ourselves energy. And our main idea is to become a living lab as an example also for people around the campus, because we are an open campus, not a closed campus.
The University of Milan Bicocca addresses sustainable mobility, starting from its neighborhood. We studied walkability, active mobility practices with primary observations, secondary data, and with participative maps. Our aim is to co-design innovative solutions for a more just, inclusive, and sustainable mobility. We put forward a new pedestrian plan. We designed a new pathfinding application, and we are going to install new bike sharing stalls, along with citizens, companies, local companies, and local associations.
The installation of a network of optical and acoustic sensors has made it possible to add timely data on mobility flows and accesses to the campus buildings, which can be mapped in a dedicated web GIS. The integration between these and the telephone data, surveys, private vehicle traffic, and participatory surveys therefore converge to form the information basis for the construction of the Neighborhood Mobility Identity Card, a knowledge base aimed at transforming the neighborhood, proposing targeted measures for sustainable mobility, accessibility, and safety.
Okay, thank you. We start with the first presenter, and who is Professor Maurizio Ciarri, and who I invite on stage. Maurizio Ciarri is a professor of physics at the University of Milano Bicocca and the president of the international network Silkway Green Energy Management. Please, Maurizio, for your presentation. Thanks.
Thanks to be here. I will try to explain you what we are doing, what we plan to do, and what we hope for the future, from a point of view of energy. What was also presented before, but more or less like other university, we are a small city. We can consider a small city, so we consume a lot of energy, and we use also the period of COVID just to understand that we can do something to reduce our impact, because we realized that in that period we expected to reduce a lot our consumption, but the reality was not so really what we expected. And so we start to think. We was also presented yesterday, that we are part of the Climate City contract at the municipality of Milan. So, and we have a target. We have a target for 2030 is to reduce our impact, to become more efficient from the point of view of energy, and usability for user will be also very important for us. And how to do it? We started to replace fossil fuel as a consequence, improve energy efficiency of our building, and construct, because I will show you at the end just an example. I took an example of a new building where we start to construct the new building with new efficiency and low carbon buildings impact. And but what is very important for us, as our rector say many times, we have to give the example. So for us, it's very important also communication, and I will spend some words later. And we are an open campus, as I told before, because really we have share in a big area, and we are not close. There is a real campus, so we can be really an example for our citizens which live together with us. every day we share our space with them. So now we have different activity which are planning, which are working, which we will have. Some are started already, some will start in the few years, but in few years we will finish all these works. And I will just summarize, not to spend too time about, I can enter obviously in all these details, but just summarize, we will have plant efficiency, so we'll introduce, we will use new different low impact energy system, heat pumps, solar thermal, solar photovoltaics, and also we introduce for all campus LED lighting, because we need to change a lot from this point of view. And what is very important, then the efficient control on management on buildings. And beams will be a focus for us, because our target is at the end to reduce at minimum, we will see, but we'll see in the future, and reduction on 10%, we expect a minimum, for sure reduction of CO2 emission, the air quality, because all the building we are introducing, of course also in the following presentation, something will be reported, for the air quality inside our buildings, in order to just balance and control exactly the air for people which are living inside, and as I reported in the final sentence, really to show and to inform citizens what we are doing and what they can also do in their house. And as mentioned before, I will just report one example. This building, U19 Ergon, we call, it will become a living lab, just because the idea is, okay, to reach the neutrality from a point of view of energy, but for example, we will use geothermal heat pumps, and was also reported yesterday that the study carried out at the University of Milano Bicocca was very important, because we perform, you see, the real feasibility of the use of geothermal pumps for all Regione Lombardia. So it's very important, this data, and we will use it for the first time in this building, and together with photovoltaic panels. But I will stress that our idea is to have I report a digital twin, because thanks to this, we can share with students, researchers. We are working together with our technical administration part of the university in order to implement. And for example, I reported in the middle of the slide two figures. One is the map for the heat power, and the other is what we are doing is using deep learning, because now all of us are using, in order to forecast, we call the day after, in order to optimize the use of energy. So this will be a very important feature, just not only for students, for research, for university, because we plan to, at the end, to we will call near zero, because it will not really completely zero, but we will for sure reduce our impact. We will use, already we use certified energy as from point of view of energy. So we expect for a few years, new years, to become near zero impact. And what is very important for us is that we expect really to have an impact also for our citizens around the city, because as we mentioned before, we are an open city, and our rector asked for this. Thanks.
Thank you, Maurizio. Okay, in the video we saw many interventions on our green areas. So, and Emily Rose Palm, and we show us, and Emily is a botanist and a researcher at the Department of Biotechnology and Biosciences of our university. Emily, please.
Okay, thank you, and good afternoon to everybody. Today I would like to present the work that we are focusing on in the Piazza della Scienza, and specifically talking about urban regeneration and the value that we have placed on biodiversity. Is it going? Oh, I have to do that part. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So in general, when we are thinking about resources, most of the resources that we use when we live in an urban system are coming from landscapes that are considered to be pristine, clean, and we're talking about places where we have sources of clean water, clean air, clean soil. But what we can do with urban regeneration is actually bring some of those ecosystem resources or ecosystem services to places where people are actually living and working in their daily lives. And what most of the interventions that we use tend to be what we call nature-based solutions, and most of these are focused around the use of plants. So using plants as the foundation, because plants are very valuable in all of these natural ecosystems already, to create habitat for many, many different organisms. So when we're talking about ecosystem services, we're focusing mainly on those resources that are coming from natural places that can directly or indirectly impact humanity, so benefits that we have for ourselves. When we talk about biodiversity in particular, we're talking about an ecosystem service that not only has value in itself to have a multitude of different organisms within the ecosystem, but also their value in terms of providing a foundational support for a lot of other ecosystem services that we rely on. So things like provisioning services, those are the things that are tangible, those products that we get from the land, food production, timber, or even energy. To things that are considered to be regulating services, so things that we generally associate with things that are intangible or invisible, or things that we can definitely measure, things like water purification, air quality, or even erosion control. And one of the things that we can think of in terms of biodiversity is the foundation for actually sustaining and amplifying all of these other services that we are relying on. So in our MUSA project, we are focusing on this idea of sustainability. And one of the things that we're focusing on is this idea of regeneration, urban regeneration, and using our Piazza della Scienza as a model system. And I have shown a picture here of the site that was from basically what it looked like before 2023, before we started to actually do work in the piazza. And in this particular green space, we had about 80 square meters of green space. You can see how reduced that is relative to the pavement that is there. And when we were considering this project and thinking about biodiversity in general, we had a list of criteria that we used to select our plants. So thinking about things that have provide a wide range of resources for other organisms, plants that would be drought resistant, because we're talking about a Mediterranean climate, but also plants that might help or benefit in terms of air quality or also temperature control. So thinking about an open square where we have people using the space, obviously the sun is very hot. We need to be able to control all of these, or not control, but regulate a lot of these environmental factors. So if we look at what we've done now after our work in the square, we see a dramatic difference in the amount of pavement that is there. So in fact, we've increased the amount of green space to 1,690 square meters. And we've increased the number of plants, different plant species to 60. So this is a dramatic increase in the amount of biodiversity. And you can see here just what it's starting to look like. This is after 1 year after the installation, and it's a dramatic difference in what the square looks like. In terms of the biodiversity, we're also looking at a high diversity of function in what these plants are actually going to be able to do and the services that they're going to be able to provide. So in our project, we're hoping to monitor many different factors related to the resources that are available, so including air quality, so having continuous measurement of air quality index and particulate matter in the air, but also looking at what are the plants actually collecting on their leaves, the deposition of particulate matter. So are we actually capturing it and keeping it on the surface and getting rid of it from the air itself? Other groups are also working on things like the heat island effect. So how are these plants that we've installed actually affecting the temperature of the surfaces in the square? Water use efficiency of the plant. So this is something that we're directly involved in terms of CO2 sequestration and the water use. So how much water are we inputting into the system, and how are the plants actually managing the water that is cycling through the square? In terms of direct biodiversity, we're looking at a lot of the different insects that are now present in the square. If you walk through, you see the plants are absolutely covered with bumblebees and butterflies. And so we're monitoring what we've done in terms of bringing in a lot of resources and habitat for pollinators, and monitoring that continuously with different sensors. And another aspect that we think is very innovative and is connected highly to air quality is this idea of hydrocarbon degrading bacteria that live on the leaf surfaces. So by increasing the number of plants in the square, we have also provided more spaces for these bacteria that can degrade pollutants directly on the leaf surface itself. So in general, when we look at this, the project that we've developed in the square, we're really fortunate in the fact that we have both the before and after. We have measurements that were performed before we actually started working in the square, so we can look at that and compare and see what is the impact that our plants and our intervention has had on these different environmental factors. And I would say one of the, I think, most interesting aspects or most valuable aspects of having the project that we've done in the square is that we have this model for a living laboratory. So this is a space that is open to the public on constant display. We have continuous hands-on data collection. We've created many resources for pollinators and other animals. And I think one of the other benefits that we haven't talked very much about is this idea of community engagement. So we have school groups that come through and want to see the instruments that we're using, kids that are being exposed to the technologies that we're developing and getting to see it firsthand. And we also have an active learning example. We have a way, me as an instructor for plant physiology, I can bring my students out here and I'm not just telling them how photosynthesis works, I am showing them and giving them an opportunity to learn hands-on. And I think this is one of the things that yesterday Professor Damiani suggested, this idea that MUSA is not just about, it's more of an enabling of change. And in this way, I feel like we're actually giving the people, the community members, the tools to actually do something about their environment and experience it and participate. And I think that is a huge benefit. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Emily. So, as I told you before, we structured our panel after the two presentations by the leading university with another presentation with a colleague from a Japanese university. Thanks to our Vice Rector, Gabriella Pasi, we have many contact with the University of Electrocommunication in Tokyo. So I invite Professor Thomas Sogabe, and who is a professor at this university in Tokyo, leading the high-powered energy system research center. Thank you, Thomas, for your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your nice introduction. So my name is Thomas Sogabe from the University of Electrical Communications, and we call it UEC. Maybe it's much more simple to pronunciation. So I'm currently working at the Info-Powered Energy Research Center. And my expertise actually is working on the quantum computing and AI, and also I'm working on the smart energy systems. And in the meantime, also working in the university as international research collaborators. Today, actually, I would like to give you a brief introduction and also talk about the bridging innovation and the culture between our UEC and Bikoka University. We would like to strengthen this academic alliance between these two universities. For this, I would like to really take you just maybe 1.5 minutes to let you know a little bit about our UEC, because our university actually is not like a University of Tokyo, not famous, but it's a very good opportunity to let you know what we are doing here. And my university is based on the communications among the humans and the societies and natural environments. So we are a very small university, and based on these three principles, for instance, this the society, then we have the information department, and for the nature, we have science department. And for the human, we have the system departments. So under this philosophy, and our university has 3 departments and have 9 centers. So the faculty members is only probably very small, 300, and the students is about 5,000. So actually, we are very small in size, but actually the performance, several performance are really in the top of in Japan in the university. Among the national university. We are actually the first, number first in the employment rate within the communication industry in Japan. And also we are the number 4 national university in the AI and the data science in Japan. And with this, I'd like to give you a very brief video introduction about the university. Can I show how to play the video? Can you just turn on there? Okay.
UEC is in Chofu City, part of Japan's thriving capital of Tokyo. The campus is a convenient 5-minute walk from Chofu Station. The ride from Shinjuku Station to Chofu Station is about 15 minutes. UEC ranks as one of the world's top research universities in computer science, robotics, optical engineering, and other vital fields. The university is consistently the focus of stellar evaluations. For example, UEC was one of just 19 institutes chosen from among Japan's 770 universities to receive support under the Program for Promoting the Enhancement of Research Universities by the Japanese government. The university also conducts extensive research under the Japanese government's Society 5.0 vision, working in artificial intelligence, big data analysis, cybersecurity, and other rapidly expanding realms. UEC continues to make great strides in frontline research fields, thanks to support meant to strengthen Japan's research power. For a century, this university has consistently been at the forefront of developing creative technologies for the future. That is what the University of Electrocommunications is all about.
Okay, so thank you for your time for me to introduce my university. So now I'm going to give you the main focus of today's talk. Actually, here I just show you a brief our history, our partnership between UEC and Bikoka University. And our relationship starts about 2 years ago. Actually, our then director, Abe, Professor Furukawa, went to Bikoka University. And then after that visit, with Professor Pasi and Professor Battini. And then after that, maybe last year, and then as you show from this picture, the Vice Rector Gabriela Pasi and Professor Stefan Battini visited our UEC. And at that time, we signed our the academic exchange agreement between these two universities. And here the picture shows our president and the Professor Pasi. And so since then, we have now total about 2 years, we have this partnership. Now we have, from UEC, we have 7 students which went to Milano Bicocca University as a student exchange program. And so last year we have 3 UEC students, and now we have 1 student and working at still studying at the Bicocca University. So from this year, actually, we are also looking forward some Bicocca University come to UEC, and to really strengthen further our relationship between these two universities. So since our relation just started, and there are many things we can really collaborate. We can really strengthen our two bi-party relationships. For instance, we can increase more the joint research projects, and we can increase more student-faculty exchange, the double degree programs, and of course, we can also co-sponsor some international workshops. And by strengthening our two university relationships, and I would like to, by achieving all these goals, I would like to finally to achieve the two national relationship between Italy and Japan and the toward forward for the innovation futures. And with this, I'd like to end my talk, and thank you very much for your nice attention and for your participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Gabe. And many projects are ongoing involving with different companies. And we decided to invite, and I thank a lot for accepting our invitation, Edoardo Della Role, Cogita Gaggi, Lorenzo Leva, and first of all, Edoardo Della Role. Thank you, Edoardo. And who is head of electrification in the Research and Technological Innovation Department at ENI, and which is the National Hydrocarbon Agency in Italy, and the president of the Innovation Program Office of Road. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you so much. We'll start with another bridge. We see the bridge between Tokyo University and Milano Bicocca. We represent another bridge that is driven by this project we developed together we decided to join the forces along this project in order to try to apply the same approach in different reality. Where are located these different realities? Located in Rome, where Rode is located. But I want to tell before you a story of regeneration that is the theme of today. We start in the gasometro area, not so diverse from what has been said yesterday about the area of Polytechnic of Milano. It's the area in which at the beginning of the 20th century we produced gas for the city. Was an industrial city in the center of Rome that growing and growing, and on 1936 was built the biggest gasometer in Europe. Imponent structures, very huge structures, that now is considered the Iron Colosseum in Rome. So a second Colosseum, because you can see the structures from all the corners of Rome. So it's really representative, but after the years, this industrial area in the center of Rome progressively has been abandoned. Till when on 1977, we decided take over this area from Italgas and start a regeneration project of this area. We looked that this area was of a potential incredible value because it's in the city centers, very connected with mobility, with metros, with the university, because just in front of this area, Roma Tre University started to, so becomes also an interesting university neighborhood. So we decided to transform this from a place in which was producing energy to produce something different, to produce innovation, to produce research, to try to aggregate people, ideas, and activities. Take this effort to start regeneration, rebuild building, generate network, the Ostiense neighbor has been listed on the 10 coolest neighborhoods in Europe in 2020. So it means this could really be a big potential. And we arrive on 2023, when Rode borns. Rode is a network of big companies like Eni, Bridgestone here present, but also Cisco, Ferrovie dello Stato, Autostrade, so very big company that put together the forces in order to boost innovation and test activity solution, new startup, relation activity projects, all together, saving many times and cost. So be more effective in generating density and efficiency. So what is Rode? Just a quick view of the ecosystem today. There's the 7 founders, the big corporate, but we start off collaboration, agreement, MOU, LOI with university, project, academia, other corporates, and a large collaboration with general project, international activities, other innovation hub, in order to grow and become, so let us say, since we call it an ecosystem, we try to be an ecotone, that in ecology is where many different things collecting different reality are together and maximize the biodiversity. So our idea is collecting academia, industrial, public, and public in order to maximize the potential output. And just 2 words to finish our look to the future. Rode is for sure an evolving ecosystem that is able to aggregate different reality in order to accelerate the development. What is now Rode? Rode is now a living lab. We test the solution inside our actors, our tool, in order to verify, firstly, in a safe environment, and then move to the city after. It is also digital twin. We developed in these years a digital twin of the area in order to many times test in advance potential solution in the digital environment before living in on the real environment. and also is really a sort of academia for talent. We not let the human capital behind. We think the human capital is fundamental for transformation. So we decided to have a specific area in which we attract and we enhance talent for the benefit of all the companies and all the stakeholders of the road. And being a network, we are more flexible than the big corporates that are founded, so we are more agile to do partnership, project, collaboration in the public-private connection, and scale up and deploy. So what we hope is continued collaboration with MUSA, Bicocca, and all the other reality in order to bring this experience to Rome. We continue to work hard to bring other experience and grow up. We try to make this district very functional and open to other and further collaboration. You used to say that all road leads to Rome. We try to also give this. We have hard worker to make this a true reality. We'll continue to do, as I learning in this day in Osaka. I tell to myself and all to our colleague in Gambate. So continues and put your maximum effort on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dr. De Rorole mentioned Living Lab and the collaboration with the Bridgestone. And so we have two representatives from this company. The first one is Lorenzo Alleva on the stage. Please, Lorenzo, and who is the Digital Lab Director of Road and the Road is member, and leader of the Bridgestone Global Digital Lab based in Rome. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Matteo, and thank you everyone for this great opportunity to be here. So, you know, I work for a Japanese company since 25 years, so I know this country, but there is one word that eventually came in here, inspired my mind, visiting this pavilion, this expo, is dantotsu. We use this word in Bridgestone, try to aim to be dantotsu. I think today is what we have experienced here. Japanese colleague can tell you what's the meaning of this word. I leave this to them. So we have, I hope that Eduardo has eventually created this interest, providing you the hardware of road, where it burns, what it's behind, and let's see what we are doing inside, because it's a 3-year network between enterprise, but still we already have very interesting and important projects running in it. As we said, we are trying to create an open ecosystem where those large, let's say, Italian and also international company works together. The objective is try to solve larger problem that one single corporation can eventually address by itself. So here, if we look at this slide that was introduced to you just before, I want to mention that in the co-founder we have company that works around the infrastructures, main infrastructures, highway, railways, tires in our case, energy, water, and network. So this means that we can eventually go across those mobility problems, circular economy, sustainability, and try to do more that each of us alone can do. Of course, this cannot be done by those corporates. We need to leverage this partnership. University is key, that's why we are here. Eduardo introduced this concept. We will see this product, we will see this later. And we work with partner, and we also have at our heart collaboration. It starts as a stakeholder alliance, as we said, but we already mentioned it's key to develop people of our company and also of the ecosystem that we are engaging. This is the key area that we use talents in our company to drive those projects ahead. And then everything is built on innovation. That innovation is done within the corporation, but at the same time we leverage the PMI of our country that are actually the ones that can really bring these ideas and innovation on the ground. So just to give you a few numbers, we have calculated social return on investment of about 1.2. These 7 partnerships outside of our network are today, let's say, very active. We have more than 70 people involved, generally about 10 for each company, and collaborations with the university and the ecosystem that we have just mentioned before. And then we have other 6 collaborations with districts similar to us. Maybe in Italy you know about Chilometro Rosso, AMS in Amsterdam. So those are the ones that we have engaged so far. 11 projects started. Let's try to see some of them. Here we see that we are working on 4 main pillars. Resilient infrastructures. So you have seen that we have companies that manage, let's say, complex and large assets. So there are experiments around the use of drones and balloons in order to monitor those infrastructures in a more efficient way. Smart mobility, we have 3 projects. We are going to mention in detail all of those, as well as environment and health, and this is what connects us with the University of Bicocca. And then the human capital, as we have said, and we will talk about it. So smart mobility, what we are doing today in the district, let's say we are building the digital twin, the replica of the neighborhood Ostiense, together with the input, the data that we can gather from multiple sources. So we use university in order to get mobility traffic data. We use a telematics. Bridgestone, let's say, has acquired the TomTom telematics assets, and so we use this kind of data. We built a digital twin of the assets of road as well. And in this way, we can start to develop those models in order to optimize the traffic around this area and then eventually scale to the city. We have projects around the Tiber navigability and as well as optimize the mobility in the city itself. So there is one advanced project we are working with the most in order to homologate this captive area, segregate area, in order to be the first autonomous vehicle proving ground, where we can test algorithm and software into an environment that eventually can replicate and simulate physically what could be a city of the future. And then for the smart mobility, there is several projects. We have an interesting partnership between Bridgestone and the advanced telemetry that we analyzed and developed with our, let's say, technology in order to predict failure and maintenance issues of the vehicle, in this case, the floating car sharing fleets of ENI. And so this will allow us also to get data about the road we will see in the next layer. And we work on this aspect, and at the same time also trying to find out solutions for the tires at the end of life in order to build with this product roads and other pavement. We have this very interesting and so far, let's say, fruitful collaboration with the Bicocca University around this product here. Maybe you have heard about Respiro. I'm in road. I'm presenting this because, I mean, we are testing it together, developing together. We are really proud of this collaboration. The name Respiro, in Italy is breath, but eventually address this real-time environmental sensing for personal intelligent risk optimization. And makes sense because by bringing this device with you, we can capture very important parameters of the quality of life, and then connect to a backend, make this available to our researchers, and that builds layers of map of information and digital twins, and so start to use this data effectively to control and improve the quality of air of our city. So last but not least, our human capital, our company, E&I, all of those large corporate has the chance to submit our talented engineers, researchers to those projects that has been created in collaboration with Accenture, Kilometro Rosso, Experis, Sofia Antipolis, maybe you know about that. And so we grow up their skills and capability, at the same time use them to to lead those projects that we are running into road. So this is the end of this presentation. Just to recap, we have a living lab where we can do experiments between corporate, with university, within ecosystem, in a, let's say, more agile manner, because we are connecting private and public in a quite different way. And then we are building digital assets and leveraging the talents of all our people, of the people of the university represented here, of the people of corporations, startup, and our enterprises. Again, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Leva, also for mentioning the Respiro Breath project we launched. And this project and some weeks ago in Rome with our Magnifica Rettrice, yes. And okay, we will inform about the main findings of this very challenging project. And to conclude this panel, very proud and to introduce Dr. Koji Togaji, and who is member of the Research and Development Division of Bridgestone Corporation and Sustainability External Affairs Fellow in Rome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. It's my big honor to be here, and thank you very much for your kind invitation. So next several minutes, I'd like to share with you our sustainability journey. The Bridgestone, the tire company, we have a relatively big company with more than 90 years history. Head office is Tokyo. Basically, we are a Japanese company. But we are doing our business quite globally. We have three major regions. One is Japan, for sure, and the other one is North America, and also Europe. So we have a very strong presence in Europe in our business. And if we can zoom into the Italy, so we have one business office in Milan, and we have a large technical center, R&D center in Roma. So Lorenzo and I are working there. So I'm very much happy to be there. And also we have a world's largest proving ground. Proving ground is testing a tire course, yes, circuit course. And in Apulia, it's the 50 kilometers down south from the Roma. And also we have a manufacturing plant in Bari. So we have a very strong connection between Bridgestone and Italy, and business for sure, and also the innovation, technology, investment, and also the CSR as well. That's why we are here in Italian pavilion. So this is our business, the tire. From the passenger tire to such a large, big off-the-road tires. But the question is it okay just to producing the tire, selling the tire, gain the profit? Is it okay? The answer is no. This is not valid business model anymore. Why? We already talked a lot, but I would like to say world in motion. For the mobility, we talk a while about the case connected, autonomous, share, electronic, so that the mobility situation is dramatically moving. And don't forget about the environment, climate change, resource, we need to contribute it. Moreover, safety, society, people, we need to contribute it. So you can easily imagine how broad the scope is, so that how we should do it, what is necessary to do it. That's the question for us. So we discuss a lot, and we set up this commitment, which is called E8 commitment. Instead of I read them up, this small wording, I'd like to share with you a short video. It's a 2-minute video, so I hope you can enjoy it.
Toward 2050, Bridgestone is evolving into a sustainable solutions company. Born of our enduring Bridgestone values, this is our personal E8 commitment to support the realization of a sustainable society.
Can you hear the voices whisper words of love?
Energy. Committed to the realization of a carbon-neutral mobility society. Ecology. Committed to advancing sustainable tire technologies and solutions that preserve the environment for future generations. Efficiency. Committed to maximizing productivity through the advancement of mobility. Extension. Committed to non-stop mobility and innovation that keeps people and the world moving ahead. Economy. Committed to maximizing the economic value of mobility and business operations. Emotion. Committed to inspiring excitement and spreading joy to the world of mobility. Ease. Committed to bringing comfort and peace of mind to mobility life. Empowerment. Committed to contributing to a society that ensures accessibility and dignity for all. For the sake of the earth, which future generations of children have entrusted in our care. Bridgestone E8 commitment.
So I like this video because kids are highlighting. I have 2 of my grandkids. That's all my motivation for working sustainability. So this E8 commitment is to show our way to serve, and we need to be a sustainable solution company. So this is our commitment. So more concretely, the many targets we have, but to start from material, we need to transfer to the 100% sustainable material, renewable material, recycling, bio-based, whatever. So this is one challenge. The other one is, of course, carbon neutral. The largest contribution to the carbon emission is the use phase of the tire, which means driving the car. So the tire connects to the road surface. For the rolling resistance of the tire directly affects to the fuel consumption, which means carbon emission. Of course, green factory is important factor. And also, as Lorenzo introduced you, sustainable mobility solution, providing the solution is another aspect that we need to contribute. And moreover, the balance with the nature, we are very much sincerely discussing about the management of end-of-life tire. The burnout, the end-of-life tire, landfill, definitely is not a solution. So we need to utilize end-of-life tire as a piece of feedstock to producing the raw material to producing the tire. So we have a very interesting project with Eni Versailles to start up this concept to make it real, to realize a circular economy. We talk a lot about the environment, but it's not only for the environment, but the people, society is another important factor that we need to consider. Just a quick review here is, firstly, if we consider our people, our colleague, working safety in working place is the first priority. Of course, driving safety, we need to manage it. We engage with the United Nations program, and we are doing various activities globally. Of course, inclusive education, healthier communities, communities. So we have many discussion and activities global-wide. Of course, CSR is piece of the work. So that's all my presentation. It's a quite high-level presentation, I know, but I hope it would be very much happy if you can feel some flavor of our sustainability journey. So thank you very much.
Thank you to you, Dr. Tagagi. Okay, so this panel is over. So we can move to the second panel. In this panel, I invite all the participants to go down the stage. Thank you again. Thank you again. Okay, in the first panel, we talked about the environmental side of sustainability and approaching topics such as energy and mobility and biotechnology and so on. But there is also a psychological and the social side of sustainability, and which is the content of this new panel. So I will invite the Professor Marta Marsilio, and Professor Marco Boffi, Professor Setsuo Tsuruta, Dr. Lei Liu, and Dr. Gabriele Elia. Thank you. For this panel, and entitled Sustainable Innovation, Healthcare, Well-being, and the Urban Quality of Life. I kindly ask to the control room and to start the video.
Founded in 1924, the University of Milan celebrates a century of history and cultural heritage. With over 60,000 students and more than 5,000 researchers, it's one of Italy's leading institutions for investment in knowledge and innovation.
At the University of Milan, La Statale, we believe universities are engines of change. Through research, knowledge, and the active engagement of academia and all stakeholders, we help shape cities that are more inclusive, sustainable, and ready for the future. With the MUSA project, we are combining law, environmental science, psychology, and innovative healthcare to design smarter urban spaces and empower active citizenship. From telemedicine to digital health tools, we are exploring how technology can bring care and well-being closer to people. Our new science campus at Mind, Milano Innovation District, is a bold step in this direction. It's a place where cutting-edge research meets real-world challenges, fostering collaboration, innovation, and connection with the city. This isn't just development, it's transformation. Because at La Statale, we are not just imagining the future, we are building it.
The places we attend in everyday life have an important role on the quality of our life, so they can have an influence on our health or the well-being we experience. So for example, having good urban spaces can decrease the level of stress we experience and can have a positive effect on the emotions and the quality of the attachments we developed with places.
Any design action produces a number of reactions, and having a tool that can support the understanding of action-reaction in this perspective is very crucial for supporting a conscious and an informative design process with citizens, so a participation process that allows different types of stakeholders to be involved and to understand the reason why we are going one direction or the other, and also, of course, to discuss it in a very democratic way.
On this basis, we developed a suite of tools, including an app, a web platform, and a digital table that allow us to collect information about the subjective experience in spaces and to represent also with a cartographic representation the results obtained from this analysis.
Buzzi Children's Hospital has led the implementation of telemedicine through Tito Care project. A study involved 153 children and their caregivers. The project enabled early discharge and remote monitoring using a digital device and the hospital telemedicine platform. Caregivers perform clinical checks from home and they share data with doctors using teleconsultations. The approach was safe, effective, and well received, with no readmission or technical issues. It allowed children to recover at home, save time and cost for families, reduce hospital crowding, and help lower ecological impact. Overall, it shows how digital health can enhance care, empower families, and support a more sustainable healthcare system.
MUSA is a clinical protocol assessing the effectiveness of telemonitoring for heart failure patients using the Eltenzia app. Currently enrolling 200 patients at Milan's Policlinico and Niguarda hospitals, the protocol allows individuals or their caregivers to record daily blood pressure and weight at home. Cardiologists can remotely access this data via a digital platform that flags alerts requiring attention. The system strengthens continuous care by keeping patients supported between in-person visits and helps foster healthy habits. MUSA aims to measure telemonitoring's impact on 3 levels: individual, patients, caregivers, clinicians, hospital systems, and society. The project highlights how technology can empower patients as active partners in their care journey.
Thank you, thank you. We start with Marco Boffi, and who is assistant professor in social psychology at the University of Milan. Thank you, Marco.
Thank you, Matteo, and thank you, everyone. So I'm a psychologist, but I've been working in the last years with architects, engineers, and landscape designers, trying to integrate the experience people have in different types of places into guidelines for design. So the logic of this presentation is to give you an idea of what it means designing urban experiences. So we are not, when we design a place, we're not only physically designing that place, but we are also shaping the experience that we live in those spaces. So the starting point of our approach is focusing on what is traditionally defined as environmental impact assessment. So before transforming an area, you try to understand which are the features of that area and how it could change with a specific design proposal. This approach is typically focused on objective environmental data. And the goal we have is to integrate something about the experience people have. And obviously, to be more effective, it's very important to provide a cartographic representation, so a spatial connection with the experience of people, and to provide data that could somehow be exploited also during participatory processes. Because in many cases, participation and analysis are conceived as very separate processes. So on that basis, this is what we designed. We call this as a sort of ecosystem. So we have many tools. So we have an app and a web platform. And through these tools, you can explore physical spaces. So you can walk through a neighborhood and look at that place as it is today, or through augmented and virtual reality simulations, you can see in advance how it could be transformed according to different design proposals, and the same can be done also with a web platform. And you can explore with immersive virtual reality a completely virtual environment. So you could work also with an area that is not accessible, physically accessible today. And together with this, the methodology we developed is collecting information about the psychological experience, about the behavior, so the physical movement you're doing through the spaces. And we are integrating also physiological data. And of course, we are also integrating environmental data. So everything is leading to this platform that analyzes all the data together. And the data can be provided to researchers, obviously, but the main concern we have is to provide information to stakeholders who are not specifically focused on research, but on decision-making, for example, or also with citizens who can be more aware about the logic behind some decisions. And all is connected also with a phygital table that I will show you in the last slide. The logic of this entire ecosystem is not only to develop the analysis itself. Obviously, as researchers, we are very focused on that, but the idea is to integrate these tools into participatory processes, so to facilitate the communication among different stakeholders, so facilitate the communication between university researchers and private companies working in an area, and with public institutions and with citizens. So depending on the context, depending on the goals, and depending on the type of initiative, you could use those tools or to focus more on the analysis. So, for example, we can make a provision of the future reaction in an entire city, just sampling some representative spots throughout the city. Or you can move along the entire continuum and focus more on empowering people, being directly involved in deciding or co-deciding with institutions about the transformation of an area. This is an example of the type of outputs we produce. So this is Città Studi neighborhood, which is where you can find the campus of Statale University, which is here, and the Politecnico University, which is here, because the entire project that you see is the result of a collaboration between Statale and Politecnico. So we developed 2 patents and a series of softwares connected to the system. So this is the walk we did in the neighborhood. Starting from here, we walked through the Statale campus and along the street, and we reached the main square in the neighborhood. And these are the pictures taken with our app. So as you see, the app is connecting the picture with the position and the direction where people were looking at while walking through the neighborhood. And this is the emotional reaction. So what you see here is on the right side, positive, and on the left side, negative emotions. Here are activating and here are deactivating emotions. So you see that in point 1, which is the botanical garden of our university, people feel relaxed, and then they move to the street that is full of cars, a quite sad place. So the reaction is between feeling sad and upset, and then walking through the campus, the reaction slightly improves, and it becomes negative again in this point where you have a lot of traffic here. And then when you reach the main square, which is number 7, the reaction is again positive, but more exciting compared to the starting point. So this is just a small example of the many subjective, let's say, psychological geographies we can reconstruct with the methodology. One last example is the phygital table we have. What does it mean? It means we have a digital twin of the entire neighborhood that is connected to the app, which is also transferred on the table. And thanks to the digital twin, we can build a physical maquette. So every building you see here is connected to the digital table. And thanks to this connection, you can obtain on the table the representation of what is visible from different point of views. And you can make a simulation not only in 2 dimensions, but also 3 dimensions of what is visible in different points. And you can simulate shadows. And if you remove a building, you can see how it changes. So what's the impact on the physical space? And you can, obviously, you can do it also with the facades. And you can work also remotely. So when you place a building on the table gives you a feedback about the position. So at the moment, we are working with 3 different tables throughout the city. So we could work from Milan and Osaka remotely. The idea is to provide a very effective way to understand the effect of a transformation also for common people. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Marco. And okay, yes. Okay, we move to the second presentation of this panel and inviting Professor Setsuo Tsuruta. We are very proud and to be here, Professor Tsuruta, and who is an emeritus professor at the School of Information Environment of Tokyo Genki University. Thank you for your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Oh, sorry. I'll talk about Yorisoi plus Caring AI, BICA, and ChatGPT collaboration, aiming sustainable, innovative healthcare, well-being, and quality of life. Background and issues. Many people are dissatisfied despite the right to freely pursue such a happy life of each individual as Constitution respects. But only human can clarify or concretely know one's own happiness, wishes, and worries. AI cannot. Fun conversations with popular AI avatar attract people. It is important to talk forgetting loneliness and enjoy toward happiness. But it's faint. That alone is not enough to inherently improve satisfaction. Today, people ask ChatGPT to solve their problem. However, ChatGPT's answer changes every time, despite same question. On asking ChatGPT during unclear wishes, people remain dissatisfied. Solution by Yorisoi Wrapping collaboration. Proposed Yorisoi plus solution is because Yorisoi plus ChatGPT collaboration. BICA, virtual intelligent, virtual visual intelligence counseling agent named by Ernest here and me with sets is Yorisoi type AI. counseling avatar in metaverse. Metaverse, I think it's a metavirtualized internet. Because Yorisoi wrapping and collaboration with Chat GPT exploits AI power. Its Yorisoi is not only analysis, promoting, but emphatic, attentive. It's a very soft listener. It promotes to open user's mind because of its software listening and soft listening and clarify or dig, analyze, also balanced such kinds of deepening can be done for analysis their own for analyze their own wishes and values by the following. One, neither a kind of chat GPT-like convinced answer like chat GPT. Oh, okay. They already. Nor 5W1H is a kind of fat fan like that, like a personal asking, but just attentive teaching, very soft, attentive and emphatic listening to open user's mind. So second, parrot-like mirroring of users' current saying for emphatic feeling, as well as promoting self-awareness to clarify wishes and worries. Such kind of promotion is promoting with very pressure to a kind of pressure to users, but the emphatic listening using a kind of parrot-like mirroring will soften such pressure. Okay? And unlike MIT's ELIZA, not broadening topics, but digging deeper by saying more or concretely. And it also summarizing or reminding the relation with past saying to promote awareness by saying that more and the relation with firstly you said such things like that. Okay? Three, repetitive collaboration of Vika and ChatGPT. By Yorisoi wrapping the ChatGPT, Vika collaborates with ChatGPT as follows. Okay? Wrapping ChatGPT by emphatic, attentive, soft listening of Yorisoi make users openly talking to both their own mind and others, while Yorisoi digs deeper to users to clarify and concretize their own wishes, worries. And this promotes self-awareness towards self-solving. When unsolved, Vika asks ChatGPT users' response to because hint. Because a hint obtained by ChatGPT. ChatGPT usually returns the answer, but in this case, a beaker will make a kind of yorisoi wrapping, and the answer is just only a hint to users. So, and users saying the listened very softly and allowing for further problem analysis by very softly and until self-solved. And if still unsolved, beaker again ask ChatGPT for hints, to which attentive listening for self-solving continue repeatedly. So such repetitive collaboration of beaker and ChatGPT support users to pursue happiness until problems are solved. So the effect and usefulness. Yorisoi Plus helps people self-aware one's own wishes and difficult. Human is very difficult to know themselves, as Socrates said. Okay, so Yorisoi Plus helps such one. Okay, they can live more happy lives through finding their truly wishing clothes and meals and houses, care, etc. With their worries resolved. Okay. This is the system architecture, and beaker collaborate with ChatGPT. But ChatGPT is a kind of stressing answer is wrapped by beaker. So user does not have such a stress so much. Okay, and they collaborate. Okay. This is example diagram. Okay. Firstly, negative emotion detected, but some kinds of listening is done for promoting the kind of analysis, and ask if there are questions, for example, namely not solved. In case question is asked to ChatGPT, but ChatGPT's answer is wrapped by beaker's listening, attentive listening, software listening, okay? Software listening, sorry. So such and the users do analysis their real wishes or like that by using the hints also. Okay, and again, if there is questions unsolved, and ask ChatGPT again, but it's wrapped and softly listened, and sometimes users remind past thing like that. That. So user reminds what they say, and users find their true wishes or find their true problems, and they solve the answers. So by self-awareness, by themselves, finally, they solve the answer. So it's a dialogue example. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Suruta. I invite Marta Marsilio, and who is a professor of business administration, always at the University of Milan. Marta.
Thank you very much, and thanks to all to coming and to join us during this presentation. So we'll lead you in the journey we take in these 3 years, leading with telemedicine as a driver for sustainable urban life and well-being in our country. Actually, there are a lot of digital innovation we can use right now to improve our well-being and our health. Actually, in the University of Milan, we choose to pick one of these digital tools, and we select telemedicine. We select telemedicine mainly for 3 reasons. The first one is that it's a very widespread digital innovation, actually thanks also to COVID. The second reason is an economic large investment we are doing in Italy to develop the telemedicine national platform. Almost 1 billion euros have been investing in this new infrastructure. The third reason, it's more academic and scholarship reasons. I'm a management guy, I'm a healthcare management scholar, and I'm a very intriguing by analyzing telemedicine because it's a new way to deliver healthcare services, but it's a way to do in a very uncomfortable way for government. Government used to be thinking about a product-driven approach, not very often understanding that citizen is a user of the services, and we have to be some satisfaction of the services we are going to provide, while in telemedicine we have to use a service-driven approach, because even if the service is technically being provided in the right way, if the patient or the caregiver is not acting as an active role, an active resource inside the process, they will not be satisfactory as the way we can do deployment, this kind of partnership between professional on one side, public professional, physician, clinician or nurses, and the patient and caregiver and citizen on the other side. So we use the term co-delivery, co-production to try to understand in academic way, using our research framework, which is the one side on the managerial implication we need to take into account to have the high effective results. On the other side, we have to understand which could be the impacts and how to measure the impacts. How we did this journey, we tried to identify different settings and different targets. On the setting, we're working inside hospital, we work outside hospital in outpatient platform, primary care platform, for example, and at home. And we decided to look at different targets. We dealt with caregivers and patients, adults and children. Obviously, children needs to be some caregivers, but also some, elder patient needs to have caregiver. And then we manage with both a chronic acute care and chronic and acute care in different settings. At the beginning of our project, we tried to understand which were the expectations of telemedicine, both from citizens and non-professional. With citizens, we perform a very huge survey, thanks to the partnership with Corriere della Sera, a very popular newspaper in Italy, and we reached out 2,000 citizens, and we tried to ask them, well, what were you expecting about telemedicine? The expectations were very, very high. We did the same question to the professional, and they were really afraid, were scared to have a lot of burden to be, performed on top of their activity. So they were very different, two sides of the coin. So we tried to understand, well, in these 3 years, we have to measure, and we have to try to understand which are the real impact of telemedicine, try to give advice both to policymakers and to professionals, try to understand the way in which we can deployment at a high level. There are a lot of investment we are doing in Italy on telemedicine. So, we tried to match different perspectives. On one side, we were aware that we have to take into account several stakeholders, which are our stakeholders in a telemedicine ecosystem. But for sure, users, caregivers, and patients, for sure, health professionals, nurses, physicians, and so on, provider, the hospital setting, the out-clinic platform, the outpatient platform. And then with the society at all, we are citizens. If we are, we stay well, we are not necessarily patient. Maybe we are a caregiver, but we are part of the community that paid for this kind of platform. On the other side, we are trying to define a big, basket of dimension where to put our indicator in our sub-dimension, and we work on social dimension, economic dimension, and urban well-being. We developed 37 KPI, so a very, quite huge dashboard, working on also the sustainable goal developments. And we tried to, here just some example, to define some KPI that were really actionable. So on one side, we tried to understand which were the information available to inform this KPI, and the other way, tried to define some KPI that were acknowledged by people, policymakers and professionals. Here are some examples for the economic side. I will try to focus on the second one, because when you think about economic, you think about money, and that's easy. But if you think about economic, you also have to think about efficiency, how we use the platform we have, platform in hospital, surgical department, outpatient clinics, beds, okay? So if we use telemedicine, are we in a way to increase our efficiency, a way we used to say among the others, to understand the average hospital stay. Each day in a hospital costs a huge amount of money. The less we stay in hospital, obviously at the same outcome of clinical outcome, the easier is to provide more services and also to let people happier. People are not happy to stay in hospital, they prefer to stay at home. On the social side, I will just obviously waiting list, so accessibility to the services, but also we try to have a focus also on gender gap and gender balance. Why? Caregivers often are women. And if we try to switch some, time developed, time and put forward, bring children to the visits, bring father and mother to the visit, stay in a hospital with a child, because you are obliged to stay in the hospital with your children when the children is in your hospital. But we try to save time of the women and to make them more productive in the economical system, social system. Finally, urban well-being, but quite easier to look at the urban side, the urban well-being side, think about consumption of energy, footprint, and so on. So what we did with this framework at the end of our journey, this is the brand new paper we just published in open access journal, so with the QR code you can download the paper. We set down this framework. We tested the framework with the pilot you saw in the videos, and now we are ready to use the framework to evaluate all the telemedicine initiative. And right now, we are performing a very huge program in partnership with AstraZeneca in two main big hospitals in Milano, Policlinico and Niguarda. We are just finishing enrolling the patient. We are targeting to have more than 200 patients. And we are going to use this framework to evaluate the impact we are going to generate thanks to the app the patient will be using with the doctors, app developed by AstraZeneca, and used to, in our setting, to monitor patients with heart failure. So I think I will now pass the word to Louis Lay. It's right, okay, thanks very lot. Just to understand how we are providing the future of the study with AstraZeneca and how AstraZeneca match with us in this long journey, of 3-year-long journey. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Marsilio. So you introduced Dr. Liu Lei, and who I invite on the stage for his presentation. Liu Lei is a director of Innovation Partnership and I2.jp at AstraZeneca.
Thank you very much.
Let us know.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for this great opportunity. Thank you very much, Professor Marsilio. I'm not directly get involved in that project that already introduced, but I'm so proud that I can be part of this opportunity. And taking this opportunity, please let me introduce our local Japanese open innovation activity in healthcare area. So I'm leading this team in Japan, which I2JP stands for Innovation Infusion Japan. We launched this program in 2020, so it's like 6 years for us. And before that, maybe you already know AstraZeneca, but to be honest, before Corona pandemic, we're not that well recognized, especially by a general consumer. During that pandemic, I think we are the first deliverer of the vaccine. And based on the third-party report, we estimated to save 6 million lives by that vaccine. So we are so proud with that outcome. And we had a headquarters in UK. We have more than 90,000 employees across the world. And based on the latest number, we are the 6th largest global pharmaceutical company in this world. And we have 5 R&D centers across the world. The information is not covered in this slide, but the thing echoing the last session, I think we're the only global pharma committed to be carbon negative by the end of 2030. And here's the status of Japan. And echoing the status of our company size, currently AstraZeneca Group in Japan is the #1 company in Japan in sales number. But the things, we are not just trying to be #1 sales. So we would like to contribute to this society, to our patient, to be #1 pioneer as well. And also, we have 3 facilities in Japan, and all these facilities currently were already installed renewable energy. So it's 100% renewable energy. We're green. And like other pharmaceutical companies, we also have a sales representative, sales team, more than 2,000, nearly 3,000. They driving cars every day. So currently, we're on the way to switching all these cars to EV or maybe plug-in hybrid. So we're not the sales #1. We're also the most green pharmaceutical company in Japan. Okay, let's bring the topic back to the open innovation in healthcare. So this is the background I'm standing here, like Dr. Marsilio already introduced. We have really great collaboration in Italy already. The thing is, we started kind of a global network, which called the A-Catalyst Network. We said that it's not a big team, but a small-sized team. Currently, it's nearly 30 across the world, across markets, to deliver a small-sized POC with our local partner first to contribute to our patient, our society, to increase the healthcare sustainability. And after that, by enabling this kind of network, we share the best practice, and we also support startup inbound and outbound. And I think that's the one reason the Italian colleagues connect me, and then I'm standing here. And you can find more in our website. We also have English version. We share some collaboration case there, and you can also search our partner. Let me introduce them later, but here's our 5, this is our principle, active principle, like 5 value of AstraZeneca. Like I'm describing here, we would like to be the #1 pioneer in transforming patients' lives through innovation. So it's not just delivering bioscience, the new medicine. Also, we would like to collaborating with stakeholder, our partner, to change the social system itself. It's not easy. And in my activity, I'm well aligned with my teammate. We put patient first, of course, and we would like to take an entrepreneurship. Because in this kind of new, really leading edge, fast speedy world, we have to collaborating with startups to find a new solution to accelerate them. And another point is I think we still are conventional pharma model at this moment, but we would like to move to the AVAT model, to the lower bottom side model, because like everyone here, I believe we are quite healthy now, but at the end, we start like getting old, but then we start some kind of self-awareness. I think it's a key word into the decision as well. And then we got a diagnosis and the treatment, and after that, we have post-treatment and jump into the wellness phase. This is a patient journey. So till yesterday, I think we deliver really innovative science, innovative medicine in treatment phase, but in the future, and that's my job, I think, we would like to contribute to the whole patient journey so that we can improve their life. So it's not that easy, and we don't have the expertise experience before. So that's one reason we take this kind of open innovation strategy, collaborating with external partner with existing expertise and solutions, and realizing true meaning of patient centricity, incubation of startup, and at the end, optimize the healthcare system by resolving social and local medical issue. You can see this is crazy cows. So that's one reason we call this kind of figure cows map. But the things I would like to share with you is at the very beginning of this network, we started with only 7 company and institute, including ourselves. So only 6 partner external AstraZeneca. But at this moment, to be honest, this is just a half. So we have another page. So at this moment, we have more than 500 partners with us, including a lot of startups overseas. Not only startup overseas, but we also include our competitor, welcome them into our network so that we can contribute to the society together, not just competitor to each other. And here's some activity in our network. Since we have one of the largest healthcare network in Japan, we are not just pulling their logos in our website. We engage our partner through like events, through meetings, through projects together. So only in 2024, we initiated more than 20 projects. It's quite similar like your approach, using telemedicine, using generative AI, something like that. Since you already covered such kind of a topic, the one topic I would share with you is use data, enabling data. So this is one example I would like to share with you, since it's quite busy. So let me introduce the background first. So the therapeutic area is the chronic kidney disease. Maybe you're not familiar with the disease very well, but the late end stage of CKD is dialysis. So we have, like in Japan market, we have 0.3 million dialysis patients. So the cost pressure to insurance is huge. And also, it's not only about the cost, about the money. The QOL, quality of life of dialysis patient, is very poor. So based on this kind of background, not only ourselves, our government also defined the CKD as one of the most important therapeutic area to be tackled. Another background is like patient centricity. When we focus on patient, especially in really early stage of the CKD, people has very limited self-awareness. They don't know they are at risk. So based on this background, what we have done is, in Japan, we are universal insurance. So everyone in this country has opportunity to do health checkup. And also our received data, meaning our history to visit the doctor, to visit the pharmacy, are recorded, at least for 5 years, last 5 years. So based on this background, we decided to use data, identify people at least, but based on their history, they have never taken right action on CKD at least. Then we use like a smartphone, SMS, sometimes it's like a letter, so that we can ask the citizen, as the individual, to understand that they're at risk and they have to start some the reaction based on their situation, and use Natch theory. And after that, of course, if they start a visit hospital or pharmacy, new data will be generated so that we can confirm the result, the impact of this kind of activity. This is a small-sized POC in the past. What we are trying to do is to make a large-sized prospective social research so that we can confirm the impact. Just like Professor mentioned in her presentation, we're doing similar approach, but at this moment it's in CKD, but I think we can expand the method, this approach, to other therapeutic as well. So I think this is our last slide. By partnering, networking, stakeholder into one network, I think we can offer opportunity to our partner, not only join the event, but meet each other, exposure, collaboration. And the startup from Italy is not many in our network at this moment, so I would like to welcome more the startup or a partner from Italy into our network as well, so that we can make future better, brighter. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you. Okay, we met the company's representative of Rode, Eni, Bridgestone, AstraZeneca, and so I'm very glad to follow the presentation of Dr. Gabriele Elia, and who is responsible of ecosystems, standard, and IPR in the innovation department of a team, and which is the main telecom operator in Italy. Please, Dr. Elia.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. Just for the people who don't know, TIM is the major telecom operator in Italy with more than 20 million mobile users, and we have all the stuff that usually operators are, like 5G, the fiber. We are also the first operator for mobile in Brazil, so this is a story. But when I was thinking about this invitation and also the presentation, I thought how far is the relation between Italy and Japan, and also Telecom Italia and Japan. Imagine that I am from the innovation department. 50 years ago, in '76, in September, in Tokyo and in Italy, in Torino, actually, was the first time that telecommunication happened on a fiber optics. Now everyone thinks fiber optics as a simple thing that everyone has in fiber to the home, for example, at home. It's at the basic of all communication systems. But it was in Japan and in Italy that 50 years ago, two different teams in the same week make the first demo that was possible to have a telephone call on instead of copper, that was the usual medium, on optics. And 10 years later, something also I was thinking very interesting happened, that between Italy and Japan, again, a joint group of research decided to found the MPEG Forum, and the idea was to have a single worldwide standard for digitalizing media. It was the first time, imagine that time, every television works in every country on different standards. You can buy a television in Japan and use in Europe, or even in France and use in Italy, or in Italy and use in the States. Everything was different. The digitalization was starting, and the idea was from Mr. Chiariglione in Italy and a professor in Tokyo, Yakuza, of creating a worldwide standard that was useful for television, for media, for DVD, for the internet was not yet there, but they endorsed it. They conceived the idea that also networks will transmit media. So there is this tradition that I think is very interesting to remember today. What happened that telecommunication are a little bit in the background, at the basis of all many of the things that we heard in these days. And a colleague wrote a book that is very famous in Italy, Roberto Saracco, saying the disappearance of telecommunication, in the meaning that telecommunication becomes embedded and like a breath of air in everything every day of our life, but we don't see our breath and the air we use for living. So is telecommunication. For MUSA, we made some interesting stuff because it was one of the first time where we tried to put together 5G, edge, and edge computing. Edge computing is very important in the world of data, in the world of artificial intelligence that is coming. We need, telecommunication are using already, telecommunication and data center, AI are using about 3% of energy worldwide. It's a huge quantity of electrical energy, of power, no? In Italy, for example, but it's the same in all the countries. Telecommunication are the second consumer of as a single company. For example, TIM is the second buyer of electricity after the Rete Ferroviaria Italiana, that is the train company. The same in UK, the same in Germany. So it's funny stuff, no? Being able to distribute computing closer to user, closer to device, closer to sensor, we saw is very important in this sense. And we made the first experiment was started really one of the first really in Italy was started with MUSA. And also this distribution of computing and communication features that are merged somehow is also so important for what we think is really one of the future of artificial intelligence. It is the point of being able to federate computing and data centers and not to have super huge data center and super huge company that have everything. Imagine, for example, all the data that was mentioned today, for the way you live, the data coming from health system, for example, is very not realistic to say that everything we should go in a single place, in a single point, to be able to be managed by a single company, even if it is a trusted company, is not this point. We need solution that allows to have data distributed, but to work together. This data should be somehow being able to made actionable in a distributed environment. This is what we call cloud federation, cloud and edge federation, and also the pure communication part of this equation is important, more important than what it seems, because while it's very clear that a wired network is somehow something going from one place to another place with a dedicated channel that is, for example, a fiber optics, so you can manage that communication in many ways. Everything, a lot of things are moving more to wireless. In Italy, for example, we have a very special offer. Imagine for the Japanese friends here, we have for so low price, 1,000 yen, not euros, 1,000 yen, 100 gigabytes of traffic per month. So it's something that is unreliable in the other countries in the world. It's 50 times lower than in Switzerland, for example, no? Just to say. So wireless is a special network that needs to know the way that application and artificial intelligence work in a much deeper way, deeper relation. And this is something that also projects like this, where different competence and different, we call them verticals, and points like the smart city, the sustainability of the city, the health data come together, are also a point of improvement for the way of thinking of the future network, not only to deploy the current network. Just to finish, well, this is what I was saying about federation. Also from the experience of research, like what we do in MUSA, we are able to improve also commercial offers that are useful for all the cities and the municipalities. For example, Team Urban Genius is something that we do for putting together data from different sources and giving them back to public authorities and municipalities and so on. And the experience in Edge, in the way of collecting data and managing them, has been very, very useful also for improving something that is not strictly developed in MUSA, but is taking experience for this in the sense really of innovation. that's it, and thank you again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you to you and all the participants of this interesting panel and managed from the University of Milan. Okay, so it's not possible to build the university neighborhood of the future without architect, engineer, and economist. And this is the content of the next panels, but after taking a break. So we have a break there on the aisle and on the left. So we will see here at 5 o'clock p.m. Thank you very much again to all.